Before we begin, I just want to mention that if you need Grand Archive singles, then you can go to cardmerchantnelson.co.nz and use the code CMNSN5 at checkout to get 5% off orders of $50 or more. Your purchase helps support videos like this one. Anyway, enjoy the video.
Hey guys, how's it going? Just doing a quick overview catch up. We've been away for ages, so yeah, here with James, making sure we put out some content, but it's a bit of a boring one. I'm just here to say that Water Allies is still really good, and we're still playing Water Tristan with these beautiful ominous shadows that come out at level 3, and this power cell sometimes gets turned into a fractal. But yeah, just played another regional. I haven't played properly for at least a month or so since the last regional, which I top 8'd with this deck, and then I went and played one on Saturday and I top 8'd again. I did the last round and left early. Second, third and fourth were all Assassin Water Ally decks, and the only losses and draws they had in matches were against each other, like the 3 decks against each other. So yeah, it's still a very good deck, and you know, Water's big at the moment, but this deck was good before and it's still good apparently. If they don't, you know, if like the Water Aries and the Water Nikos don't get like, I don't know, sneak an Icebound past into like Perfect Curve, or like if they don't double Frostborn with floating, you turn 1 or 2, you just, I think you pressure them too much, and then, you know, you beat Razor Gale decks by playing one Regalia called Nullifying Mirror. Slimes, you still have a good match because you always did. You know, Merlin, if you get a timely Sea Sprite and you just put pressure on and have a counter for like the Purge or the Flame Sweep, like, it's just a very good deck. Yeah, so we play Grand Crusader Ring. This is just the latest list I played. There's a couple of faults which I'll mention, but Grand Crusaders, Backup Charger, Nullifying Lantern. The nice thing with this is random people playing fire aggro decks at the moment, and they tend to, I mean, Tenoris not so much, but some people sneak in like with the, you know, Assassin and stuff, even some Lorraine diehards. So this is randomly a good double up use against some fire decks that have like Rending Flame, and just, you know, a lot of the newer fire aggro cards are relying on banishing fire from the grave, so it helps with that in the main deck. You can just pull it out if you play against that, and then cool. But obviously it's, you know, main purpose is now with like polar fractal decks, blah blah, and all the water shenanigans decks. Safeguard Amulet's just a good card still, and I feel like there's more spell damage in a way than there has been. It can help you a turn against Razor Gale. It's against Scepter, you know, it's against some Merlins and stuff still, so it's pretty good. Smoke Bomb I just still like to have in there. It's kind of a safety pick, but this is just really necessary and helpful against slimes, because if they go for like the lustrous slime line when they're level 3, it can be quite difficult if you don't have a Snow Fairy in here. So this is just like, oh, I've got Slice and Dice plus Scepter, like I'll just make this and they're dead. So it's a happy time. Mercenary Blade, this is really the backup Shadow's Claw. So sometimes you might have a game where you get out allies early, you've drawn your 2 of your 3 Inspiring Calls, and you hit them with Scepter once. Excuse me. And you just want to get this out and just kill them before the game goes on too long. So that's what it's there for. But otherwise, this is the better dagger. So level 1 you get a prep usually, Sadie gets you preps, Korhazi gets you preps, Trapper, and another card that is overlooked often, Drifting Rogue. So you get up to, you know, level 3, sorry, gives you a prep as well. So you're probably 80+% of games you're getting 4 prep plus at level 4. So you just bring this out for free, and then of course it pairs really nicely with this. So this deck loves to see your level 3, and then you just get this out with these, and it's just 5 damage a turn on its own for going to level 3 for 3 turns. It's just insane, and you protect yourself twice from attacks, physical attacks. And then we have obviously Scepter of Lumina, level 2 Tristan, the new one. You can draw cards with this a lot, and it's really, really good. I was saying to James, the minimum amount of prep you want for this is 2, so you kind of want to draw at least 1, but you can often get the 4 prep, and depending on the matchup or the game, it's worth waiting another turn, drawing a card, whatever, to like bounce Sadie one more time or whatever to get the double draw. And if you ever have a floater, which there's about 8 in the deck, this is just cracked at 4 prep. And obviously the Sadie's out. You have 3 prep, you level, and then you bounce with the trigger on the stack. You get 2 cards. But if you're banishing 1 and 1 floating, you're going up a card to hopefully be sceptering them for 4, and then drawing an extra card, and then playing with like an 8 or 9 card deck. So it's nuts. And then Tristan level 1, obviously, she's very, very good. Controversially, I say that this is better than Xander. There's some Xander lovers out there, but the agility, like, you know,
prep with either one of them.
Yeah, that's it. They both prep, but agility versus scry or glimpse to me is better. I only do the agility 1 out of 20 games, but in the games where you do it, it's so good. Yeah. Like you can, if you somehow still have 8 cards, like you've leveled off of floating or something after fracturizing your power cell, and you have 8 resource, and you just like double ally, and then bring back interruption like a frostbind or a song, incap or whatever. It's just like, it's crazy. Yeah. And then Spirit of Water, because why would we want to draw less than 7 cards? So that's the regalia for now. We have tried some cutesy like Tristan Shadow Reaver, but generally it's just not
games
relevant. Yeah, you're better to have these, and yeah, as you say, the game's kind of just over anyway, so it's like kind of irrelevant. So that's that. And then for allies, we've got 2 Sable Remnant. Sometimes I'll still think, do I want to play 3? I remember Caden saying when this was new, like, it's a 2 attack ally, which all your other allies are, but it costs 1 less. And the fact that it has 1 defense doesn't matter because it has floating, so it's kind of almost worse for people because
they don't want to kill it.
They don't want to kill it, and then so it's just a very good card. And unconditional floating rather than class is helpful as well. So sometimes you just slap this out, random times, but it's just a very good value ally. So yeah, maybe 3, but depends on what room you find. Lurking, staple. You probably don't need to know much about that, or you already know it all. Sadie is just such a broken card. One of our locals, good dude Marty, said way back, why have they printed a 2/2 ally for 3 that has reclaim inbuilt into it? Instead of floating off for a reclaim, you're just like getting a prep counter, but you're not using another card. So yeah, it's just so good. And this helps you. It's an engine, and then again, as we said about agility before, when that's relevant, it's so good. So even to just save herself with 2 dudes down, kill with that, and then get something back. And if they don't need to play it, you just bounce it and get another prep counter. With the level 2 drawing cards and the Sadie bouncing and stuff, it's a bit more difficult in this deck to reliably just stay on 7. It's not like a typical allies deck where you're like bauble, ring, blah blah, keep Gildas going. So I like 3 Gildas. They're just very good when they're good, and if you draw it, you can usually get 1 good turn out of it, which is worth
it. It's like an early game play.
Yeah.
And you move past it, and maybe if you have a fractal, it could be less.
That's right. And it's just necessary into ally mirrors. Like if you don't have this into ally mirrors, it's a lot worse. But on the whole, otherwise, the deck could almost run without it. And then the last norm is Dungeon Guide. This card's just too good. And with the level 2 again, if you've got the preps, like you can very realistically have like a 6-7 card hand, whatever, like, and Dungeon Guide, and then with the draw, Dungeon Guide again into 3, and then get your dagger,
you want
and
to
then
sceptering inclusion that as well.
sceptering. It's just crazy.
Got some a lot of lethal lines through Dungeon Guides.
Yeah, I remember Ascent Christchurch a few months ago. I was at level 1, and it had like 7 in hand or 6 in hand, and the dude was on like, I don't know, 9 damage or 10 damage, and he was at level 3, and I just went like some like level like I don't know, ring or something, and then Dungeon Guide to 2, draw Dungeon Guide to 3, and like dude, and then like swing with Inspiring. So it was just like stupid. It just did so much damage. Water Allies Snow Fairy cut down to 3 just because Slime's probably a little less prevalent. Like it's still there, but it's not as played as it was like a few months ago.
It's slowly going down. Yeah. So
you still need it, you know, and if you play against other allies and stuff, like you need this card, but I figured we could shave one, and it wasn't terrible. Sea Sprite is still just too good as like a random sniper card, you know, certain decks, even like the Razor Gale decks, you know, they often reclaim something and they think they're real clever, and then you're just like, well, eat that at least, you know.
And with all the mill decks around, it's often a 3 cost.
That's true, often a 3, yes. And if they, you know, if they don't have the Icebound, but they get the Fractal Rain and they hit the floating, like it's handy enough there as well. So, and last application is it's your only, one of your only automatons with Sable, and you can actually use the power cell occasionally to push these. Frostborn, very good card. The way I play this deck, I don't often banish a floating, to be honest. I don't often have one. But if you're playing into an ally mirror, there are, you know, you can prioritize that and you find a float, and then it's just a tank, obviously, a 3/4. Korhazi Trapper, I love this card and how it plays in this deck. You often just watch them sink a whole turn into it, and then you just go, okay, and you let it die, and you keep your prep, and then you like level and you slice and dice them and they die. It's a good time.
Bit of a trap sometimes.
Mia is fantastic. Like, I just played someone literally 5 minutes ago and they were like, oh, if I had one more card, I could win. And I'm like, yeah, but Nia ate it when you paid 1 extra for your champion. So it's just, it's such a clutch card. And the fact it gets stealth when you're level 1 plus is actually really relevant, like alongside Snow Fairy, and you know, could protect your guys with Korhazi, you know, for a card that we'll show you, but I mean, I mentioned Inspiring Core, so stealth with Inspiring is really nice.
And if you name Icebound Slam on turn 1, that can be pretty funny.
This is true, yeah. Just play it and then, oh, you can't Icebound, cool. Halo Climb, I've gone for 3, reason being is, again, a lot of games, if we open like Sadie, Slice and Dice, that's kind of the game plan alongside Scepter, and we don't always build out a big board of allies. And the secondary thing is that both of these are class bonus, so you know, even when you do play out more allies, you're probably not leveling, you know, you're trying to win almost without leveling, so 3 just feels right. I think 4, you know, becomes a bit irrelevant.
I think the OGs used to play Banner Knight and they were kind of on 3 of them as well, similar theory.
Yep. And then Drifting Rogue, this was a card I mentioned before. I think this is still sleeping a little bit, and it looks underrated. Underrated. But it's a prep counter guaranteed and class float for like a level 2 level up. And it balances Gildas. It's another Gildas balancer, so it's actually just very good. And we like it. So yeah, 2's about right. I think I played 3 in previous things and that wasn't like super necessary. But
this is the funniest combo.
With that and Sable and Fracturize, we have 8 floating in the deck. And with that Korhazi Trapper and Sadie, we have 10 prep generators aside from the level. So it's about the right numbers, I think. I mean, we've played this deck long enough that it's been fine-tuned. It's about it, yeah. Fracturize, staple, every water deck, you know what it does.
Does everything.
Often just does target your power cell though. Like, this is such a good application.
Basically a draw 2.
Basically a draw 2, yep, 100%. Song of Frost, I've gone back up with this last event. I went back to 3 of this card. I think it's really good into like with Icebounds and stuff floating around. Again, randomly just blows out the fire decks that are trying to kill you quick. And it's actually still an insane trick-see counterspell card. You know, with like random Arasanas or people trying to just play like Serene Spirits. You know, it actually comes up more if you remember. you swing with an ally and they're like, oh, how much? Okay, I have to release. If you Song of Frost your attack, they just banish the spirit and they lose. They don't gain the life.
Yeah,
they don't recover.
It removes all
triggers
from
the stack. So they just prevent them gaining 6, recovering 6, which is like nuts. For Frostbind, I still like this card, and it's a weird one. Like, you know, I've talked sometimes about it's still a card I believe people expect in most water, or at least water allies, and like you can almost level up, like one up your opponent by like just playing 1 or 0, and they'll just always play around it, and you just don't even have to have it in your deck. But in saying that, there are times where they'll just make you have it, then you're like, oh, it's not in my deck, so you kind of need it in your deck. But alongside it, and in a way what makes it stronger, is 3 Incapacitate. So again, this is quite a like, you know, they're like, oh, do you have Frostbind, does he have Incap? We're going back to 3 Incap because I've played 2 in the past, but I think 3 in the main now is pretty relevant. You know, a lot of the water decks, like non-ally water decks, have spells. So just hard countering stuff, especially stratagem, like, you know, they can just kill you turn 3 or 4 if you're not careful. So it's just a really good card. You know, Incarnate Majesty of Merlin's, like random stuff that blows you out, you can just hard counter, and it's really good. Playing for Slice and Dice because I just want to see this card, like pretty much every game. The funniest thing that I told you about James was the first big regional I played Water Tristan when I was newer to it, was in Wellington. There was about 50 something players, and I think I had 1 in my main deck, and then I just couldn't decide on a side, so I had 2 or 3 more, like for like a full set, or 3 total. Had the other 2 or 3 in my sideboard, and after the second round, when I like won with it and I sided them in, and I just kept winning with it, and I just literally every second and third game or second game I just sided in all my Slice and Dice. And then, ever since then, ever since then, I'm like, what is this? Like, why did I not play it? And yeah, as mentioned before, like just the addition of Drifting Rogue, you know, it helps with the consistency. And even at level 3, it's really handy. You know, you might have games where you're kind of pushing to level 3 also to just keep your life up and not get killed, and you've only dealt them, you know, 8 or something, or 10, and you got to do a lot more, and then you just level 3 get you that last prep you need, and then you like swing with this for 9 hopefully, and then swing with my dudes and stuff, and it just pushes, you know, it's just crazy. Even on the weekend in the regional we just played, there was a turn against my opponent where I went to level and he has 3 cards left, and he's like, well, I'll Fracturized Scepter, and I'm like, okay, and then I just Slice and Dice into it, and if he doesn't Fracturized Scepter, I get 4 damage, and then I Dungeon Guide, and then he dies anyway, so it's like, it's a very cutthroat, like, I corner you with either way, you know, so. And the last card is Inspiring Call. I've gone to 3 again to kind of hope to see it in most games. This is an interesting one, I'll be honest about this card. As I mentioned earlier, I don't always, like with Halo Clone I mentioned, I don't always build like a big board of allies, you know, and go that route for the beatdown or for the win. So I don't often play this, you know, in that capacity. But the thing is that this card, alongside your Ominous Shadows, once you go to level 3, is just crazy. And if you've been like power leveling and like dungeon guided and you haven't seen floating, you can often get to level 3 with like 2 or 3 cards left in hand. So to be able to go then like Shadow's Claw and swing for 1, and then with your 2 card hand just play Inspiring Call and swing for another 6. It's crazy, and it's a thing that people don't expect or think about if you haven't been playing this earlier in the match or in the game. They're just like, oh well, he's not on Inspiring Call, like whatever. And then so when you have 2 cards in hand, they're like, he doesn't have anything else. Can't play an ally. and then you're just like, brah, more damage. Oh, it's crazy. And like, you know, dungeon
guide didn't get
yeah, so you're just like, oh.
So you're like, I don't want to. You've probably got 6 damage in there, so it's probably like 12 damage-ish.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like off 2 cards or whatever. Like, yeah. It's just, yeah, it's crazy good. So, yeah, and very reliable because you're getting free daggers with Tristan.
And you can do Mercenaries Blades as well to turn it on as well if you need to.
Yeah, so that's what we mentioned earlier. You're right, James. Like, if you building the board and you don't think you need to get to 3, you can just pull this out with 1 prep and then, I drew 2 of the 3 and then just and then they die.
Yeah.
So that's the deck, and sideboard we had these for the first time, and I was skeptical. I didn't trust how good they were, but I can confirm that they are very nice if you see them against the water deck with Fractal of Rain. My opponent, I went to 2-1 against Nico in round 4. And he opened Fractal every game. And 3rd game I drew this and went 2nd, and I just blew it up, and he was on Serene Spirit and he had 5 cards in hand and no mill and no reservable Fractal, and I was just like, that's so broken. Oh my god.
No turbo at all.
Yeah, considering 3 just for how good it was, but we'll see how water is in the meta. And then I put the 4th Snow Fairy just in case. This is really necessary in the mirror matches, like it's really annoying. And, you know, even against the waters, I wouldn't side him against the water as such, but yeah, slime, like when you play the slime deck, you kind of just want the 4th one, so. And then I had this card, which I don't like that much. It's kind of, I mean, I don't mind playing it against opponents, but if you ever bring this out against me, I honestly won't care, and you just wasted your time. This card seems good. This card's better than Fire One probably.
Wind is the next best.
And you need this card to beat Razor Gale. This is literally the one card that just beats Razor Gale.
When you play it, you win. When you don't play it, you win.
Yeah, just like if you go 2nd, play 1 or 2 allies, turn 2, just like make this, and then they're just like, oh crap, oh no, my defensive engine is not working anymore. And they just beat them down as planned. So yeah, Purify is cool. Maybe can cut this and put some more good cards in. But yeah, so that's that. And the last thing I was going to say, not to mislead anyone, is we did miss Freezing Hail or any form of True Sight. So Assassin now has the True Sight attack card, 2 for 3 damage with True Sight. On kill, get a prep. Is that all in the same card? It's probably a pretty good card. So you could consider trying to put a couple of those in. But yeah, Freezing Hail. Like I think I should have probably put 1 or 2 of them in. I didn't rate them as much now with like, you know, almost no decks are like attacking that much, and not that many decks are playing allies, and you know what we're saying about the explosiveness of the deck. Unlike the rain water allies or others that you need that last push, you know, Freezing Hail often could kill someone. You don't really need it for that in this deck, but I played a water ally mirror and like the snow fairies just wrecked me, and Lunette, you know, was hard, so you kind of just need a couple, I think, for that. So what to cut?
Like water allies are criminally underplayed as well.
Yeah.
Like maybe Freezing Hell. It's tricky.
Like maybe you could cut this. Depending how you're playing the deck, you could cut 1, but probably not. Anyway, and then maybe 1 of these.
Yeah,
something like that.
The most fun.
So yeah,
couple
Freezing
frost buttons, a couple Freezing Hells, probably worth trying to include somehow.
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
so much fun.
Yeah, otherwise that's it. Just want to run over it again because, as we said at the start, it's still a very good deck, and I think I've not top-aided one regional, and it was playing a mid-range Lorraine mill deck, like the one with Fractals and Pendragon and Spirit Blade Ascension and stuff. Spirit Blade and Soul. And I went like, I just missed by a round because I hadn't played the deck. I built it a day before, but since I've had Water Tristan running, I've top-aided I think 3 or 4 regionals, and I top 8 at the set Christchurch. So the deck's actually nuts. And if you want to play Water Allies,
And if you look at the win rate online, Fractal of Insight, it's the third. Well, it's kind of tied with Nico for the second place win rate in the meta.
Nico is a tougher matchup if they're a good player. But
It's criminally underplayed Water Allies, I think, and it's just doing really well. Wow, people playing.
so jump on, have a go, and like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Let us know if you're already playing it. Let us know if you're going to give it a go, and let us know if we'll see you in Melbourne playing our fire deck.
Yeah.
Alright, cheers.
Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember, if you need Grand Archive singles, go to cardmerchantnelson.co.nz and use the code CMNSN5 at checkout for 5% off orders of $50 or more. We ship around the world, and orders within New Zealand over $200 get free shipping. Your purchase with this code will help support more videos like this one. You can also support us by liking and commenting on this video and subscribing to our channel to see more of our uploads. Catch you next time.